All right, we're just gonna kick into it because I'm recording. And actually, let me set up my screens first.
While you're doing that, so I chatted in today and
Oh, nice.
talked to, of all people, I talked to Curtis, and he says hi.
Oh, nice.
That's it. No new news. I didn't.
Curtis from Chicago, huh?
Yep. Yep. Talk to Curtis.
Last week and a half or whatever, Limestone came out, and we were all so happy. And it lasted a couple hours before this picture here. A lot of speculation started going around, like maybe that's photoshopped, and maybe it's not even photoshopped, but computer graphic. Then I kind of hopped on with you guys. I was like, well, I think it's just photoshopped as far as color. And I did a video a week and a half ago or so, just a little solo video, nothing special, showing some signs of Photoshop, especially this yellow badging here, and a couple other things. And then within an hour, and this wasn't because of our video, this is because it was out there everywhere on every Rivian forum, there was all this conversation happening. So we take no credit or blame, whichever way you want to say it, but those yellow badges came back on the site, so it was quickly updated. It was almost like an admission of guilt, I guess. But we thought we'd get on and just talk about it a little bit more, because we've talked about Limestone a dozen times, and now here we got it. And Skylar, you changed to white. That was your reaction. And now, where are you at now that it's not real limestone?
Well, so I saw that picture and that color, and I'm like, that's not what I thought limestone was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I switched to white, and that was before I realized that it was a Photoshop job.
Mm-hmm.
And, definitely came to the conclusion by the end of the night, by that evening, that, after your video and just thinking through it logically, that was fake. And I'm sorry, but Rivian needs a little tough love here. And literally, I want the best for Rivian. But the number one thing you should never do to your customers or your customer base is be dishonest or deceive them. And limestone was the one color that we have not seen real pictures of. So everybody is eager to see it. Even people that aren't getting the color want to see what the unrevealed color looks like. And Rivian does that story on the colors, and it's great to get the background and some of the inspiration and things like that. But that was not a business critical story. Don't put a fake picture or a photoshopped picture, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
up for the one color that nobody's seen yet in real life. And I was pretty angry. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
You were that night.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rivian could have put a placeholder picture. I wouldn't have even cared if they said, "Hey, limestone picture coming soon," or if they use that image, put some text below it, a little disclaimer. Simulated color.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really had to get that story out, which I don't think they did, what is business critical about the inspiration of colors?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, be honest, be genuine, and don't put Photoshop pictures up, and then fix the mistake that you made on your fake picture. And basically, yeah, that's completely and totally admitting that it's fake.
As my kids would say, as all the high schoolers and junior hires say, that's cringy.
It is cringy.
Yeah. Shoot. Jimmy, do you want to jump in here? Skylar, you can keep going too.
I'll give Jimmy a minute.
Okay, I was going to let you take a breath and keep going. Like I said to you guys over over our chat. Like the thing that's frustrating to me is like we've waited this long for Limestone. What's another month or 2 weeks or 5 days? I mean, it was what 3 days later or 4 days later that they actually showed a picture of supposed Limestone in the paint booth. Like it couldn't have waited until then, and then they substitute that picture for the Photoshop
Right.
instead. Yeah, right there, exactly. I don't know. It just, yeah, it was frustrating because it just felt rushed. Like they haven't, I mean, nothing that they've posted on their socials or, any of their stories have been rushed. I mean, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and everything is coming soon and soon and soon. And then they give us that with the Photoshop picture, and you're just like, why? It just doesn't seem, it wasn't necessary. There was nothing necessary about it. We've waited this long. Yes, we want it, but we could have waited for the real thing, like a real picture, like the other colors that were in that same story were all real pictures.
Yeah, so I'll jump in here and kind of coming when this came like maybe a day or two later, a couple days later, maybe. I'm like, okay, well, there's that Nardo gray we were all kind of more expecting, and we kind of all hopped on. What do you think now, Skylar? Are you back on it? And of course, it's so much lighter, these two, and wet paint is always lighter paint and all that kind of stuff. So who knows as far as when actual pictures come out, what happens then? I will be willing to play devil's advocate a little bit here. Every picture you see on their Instagram or anywhere is photoshopped. Does that make sense? It's in the sense that it's edited, and so many times it is edited to try and depict what was seen with the eye. I mean, you know what I mean? Like what it looked like in real life, because when it comes out of camera, you're like, okay, that's way too bright, that's way too dark, that's way too whatever as far as hue. And so it's photoshopped. And so what is the difference if at the end of the day, the picture that you saw and canceled is an accurate depiction of where that color will end up being? Like, what's the difference? And everything is photoshopped anyway. There's no reality. Every single picture, every Compass Yellow picture is photoshopped. And so it is what it is. This is what people do all the time. No big deal. What do we say to that?
Well, so when you take a picture of a truck and completely change the color of the truck, I'm sorry, but that's fake. That's more than a little Photoshop touch-up editing, right? To make it look more like real life. That is absolutely not what happened here. And the other thing is, I don't think that Photoshop picture is going to look much like what the real limestone color and paint is going to look like.
That's my biggest thing. Yep.
And one of the things that I noticed about that picture when I started looking at it, because one of the things that I wanted out of limestone was a flatter gray. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that looked wrong to me right away is that there is some shimmer, there is some sheen that's indicative of metallic flake and not a flatter paint. And and anyway, I don't know whether that was launch green or forest green in the real picture that was taken, or even El Cap. But yeah, that depiction I don't think is going to look much like limestone does in real life.
Yeah, I've given a shot at trying to Photoshop a picture of what I think limestone will look like, and I don't know what I started from, but you can start from any color, really. My guess is that this was a forest green one that they switched, but that's just my hunch from a couple spots where I was looking. But I'm with you, Skylar, in one, like this looks very metallic here, not very matte. And then if I was photoshopping this from forest green or any color, I would have ended a lot more gray. This has a lot of green in it. We we were told a long time ago, a few months ago, that there'll be a hint of green, but this is almost just like another version of green to me, and it just seems like it's way too dark for this lighting setup. Like, this is full front sun here, like front lit by the full sun, and I would think that it's going to be quite a bit lighter in real life in this condition.
I totally agree. And I know that grays can look significantly different in different lighting scenarios, but I had the same impression, is that it looks too dark to be in, full sunlight. And you can tell that it is because of the shadows. I mean, granted, maybe it's more direct lighting on the side or potentially kind of from the front quarter of the truck, but it looks too dark to me too.
Yeah, I mean, the sun's coming from the left to the right. You can see the wheel shadow down here. So this whole panel down over here, especially this kind of front quarter, I mean, I would think it's going to be lighter in real life for sure. What looks phenomenal is El Cap. I don't know if you guys are switching towards El Cap, but woof! I tell you what. And here's one of the things I said in that video is like, okay, here we have dirt that's actually still brown on top of a paint color, and that's what we lost in the Photoshop job, which is really difficult to do anyway. But yeah, it does look good. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll just continue waiting. Any predictions on when we'll actually see a real Limestone pick? When's this going to happen?
I don't think that it's going to be long. I think that it will be in the 2 to 4 week range, if I had to guess, especially if that was let's call it a truck that is close enough to the final Limestone or the final process actually being painted in that post. Then if it meets their standards, then I figure we should see it fairly quickly. The other question that I had is, Rivian obviously realized that they messed up and that the internet was on to them. And then they followed up with that picture of Limestone in the paint booth. I'm curious whether that was a special run as a result of the uproar. So if anybody knows, put that in the comments.
I know, it's so true, right? We have to see it soon as well, just because it is February, and as from what we've heard, these deliveries aren't going to be delayed based on your paint color anymore, and so we're on the doorstep of perhaps some actual Limestones being delivered anyway.
Right. I mean, we're talking 20 days. No later than 20 days from now, we should see a Limestone, whether that's a customer-owned vehicle, because there are some Limestone deliveries in January, February.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, hold on. I'm thinking March, April. I'm screwing up. We have March, April Limestone, but there's got to be some January, February people, maybe not on our site, but January, February people that have Limestone configured.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that color not being, like, why would they not have the whole kit of colors available for delivery when they start mass delivering?
Yeah. I'm just nervous for you, Skylar, because I still think that has potential to be like such a phenomenal color, and so you'll have the chance to switch back.
Right, I'll switch back if it is in line with what I originally expected, and that picture of Limestone in the paint booth, I really like that color, but it's tough to parlay that into reality, because number one, the paint is wet. Number two, the lighting there in the factory is not going to be like natural lighting. So we need real pics, real walk around video would be even better. And you know, I've been one, and I know that others have said this as well, but put LA Silver, El Cap, Launch Green, and Limestone all together, and then take a video walking around all of them so that people can see the differences.
That might be up to us, y'all. I mean, once these deliveries start happening, I think that's going to be something we'll need to do, you know? Need to meet somewhere in the middle between those 4 colors, because that is a good comparison. I'm trying to find...
I'll tell you the other thing, though, that has been nagging at my heart this last week. I've seen more pictures and videos of white R1Ts.
Mm-hmm.
And... oh my goodness, that white looks so sharp, so clean. I'm falling back in love with white. So I don't know. I may not switch back, even if I like limestone.
Yep. Yeah, they're good ones.
Now that pick was saying that Glacier White, if I remember correctly, Glacier White looks good clean and looks good dirty.
Yep.
To me, it looks much better clean.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, and the black wheels.
I know.
To close it out, Rivian, don't deceive, don't be dishonest. I mean, just be genuine, please, as it relates to customer communications.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, thanks for watching. This is to be continued, so please do subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the meantime, please do join us over at rivianstories.com. This really is a phenomenal community. It's the community for true Rivian fans and owners, and you can even pick yourself up a t-shirt or sweatshirt. Thanks.